Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a multi-millionaire entrepreneur friend you need to know about. His name was Abdurrahman ibn Auf, who was a handsome, charming and astute businessman and would at times give 50% of all of his wealth to good causes. Aside from Abu Bakr, the Prophet's best friend, Abdurrahman was the only other person who led the Prophet, peace be upon him, in prayer. He was told by the Prophet that he was one of the 10 promised paradise due to his nobility and excellent faith. You may be surprised to know, but at least 4 of the 10 companions promised paradise were millionaires. Islam clearly has no issue with wealth when used correctly. When the Muslims migrated from Makkah to Medina, the Prophet strategically paired people together. Abdurrahman, who came with nothing, having left all of his wealth behind in Makkah, was paired up with Sa'ad ibn al-Rabi', who was very wealthy. Sa'ad offered Abdurrahman half of his wealth as a display of brotherhood. Abdurrahman politely declined and said the famous words, "Just show me where the market is." He wasn't a freeloader. Abdurrahman wanted to make his own money. He purchased a camel on credit, sold the camel for the price he bought it for, and then had the camel's rope as profit. This was the beginning of him amassing a fortune again. But he didn't hoard the wealth. On one occasion, after a hugely successful business deal where he acquired thousands of animals, he gave them all away in charity. Wealth was in his hand, not in his heart. This level of God consciousness was due to the tarbiyah, the spiritual training that came directly from the Prophet, peace be upon him. What was also outstanding about Abdurrahman was his level of transparency in business. He would agree on a price with a buyer, but then spot and point out defects in his items, reduce the price, spot more, and then reduce the price further and further until it became kind of embarrassing for the customer how generous Abdurrahman was being. To provide some context as to his wealth, I think it would be fair to say his net wealth was probably in the 9 figures in his time. It became so important to the community that everyone in Medina once lived off Abdurrahman's generosity. I mean, 1/3 of the people of Medina were in debt. He paid all their debts off. 1/3 of all the debts that were owed to him, he wrote those off. And it's also said he gave 1/3 of his wealth in charity to the people of Medina. So what can we learn from this iconic companion? Well, 3 things come to mind. The first, start small but give lots to charity. I heard someone once say, you don't wait to become wealthy before you give to become wealthy. Number 2, he never devalued any profit, even if it was small. So he amassed wealth bit by bit until it started compounding. And number 3, he internalized the Quranic instruction mentioned 100 times that wealth is from God, not from us. We must spend it on important causes to benefit others.